Hi, everybody. Good night.
Good night, guys. Welcome, welcome,
What a
welcome.
greeting.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome,
What a
welcome.
greeting. The thoughts.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome,
Hi,
welcome.
everyone. Hello. Good night, everyone. Blessings. Thank you for being here.
Good night, guys.
Good
Good to be back.
night.
Good to be back. Good to be back.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. And as you're coming in, go ahead and share. Let somebody know that we're live. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Double tap the screen, as they say. Come on in. Let somebody know we're live. Welcome,
Yes.
welcome.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody. Come on in. Greetings. Good to see you.
Come on, guys. As you enter, please double tap the
Welcome.
screen. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. We are giving you 30 seconds to come on in. And we are also allowing you to go ahead and share as you come in.
Yes.
We are live and we are ready. Thank you for being here. Good night, everybody. Go ahead and say who is on tonight. You can say hello, put it in the chat who is here. And as you guys know, go ahead and double tap the screen as you come in. What do we mean by that? I mean, like the video, like
Yes.
the live, like the live,
Like it, guys.
right?
Like it.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the channel when two
To
become
become one.
one, when two become
Become
one.
one.
And we are here tonight with another video, with another live,
Yes.
another topic, another needed topic. Tonight, my name is Shanice Layla Bogle. Well, every night, my name is Shanice Layla Bogle. But we are here tonight talking about a very important topic. Before we go any further, what do we do? So, I am a trauma and relationship specialist or expert or coach. I'm an educator as well for many, many years. I'm a four-time author, a speaker, you name it. I've probably done it. And so, all arounder,
Yes, yes,
big
yes.
in the area of emotional healing for women and wives, for relationship progress and purpose as an individual. And beside me is the host and the founder of this platform. I'm the co-host, so he's the founder and one of the hosts, and he is my husband, no other than.
Hey guys, welcome, welcome. My name is Anthony Bogle. I'm a marriage and relationship speaker. I'm also a first time author.
Yes.
In Jesus' name, welcome, guys.
Amen.
Welcome.
Hi, hi, hi. What is the channel about? We are about marriage, healing, passion, and purpose as an individual and as a
Yes.
couple. So if you are married or you want to get married, then this is the channel for you because we are helping people to understand emotional healing so they can function better in a marriage or in a
Yes.
relationship and for themselves in terms of really living with inner peace and walking purpose with God. So
Yes.
it's just
Yes.
like, how many subs do you have? I'm not sure. It's I think it's on the screen, the home page. You have 1K. Very good. Keep
Keep
going. It
going.
will
Push. Keep
grow.
pushing. Keep
Yes.
pushing.
As you guys come in, please go ahead and double tap. Go ahead and like. I'm a little bit hoarse, so if you don't hear me well, please forgive me. Bear with me for tonight. We're doing great. Jessica say, how are you doing? Hi, Jessica.
Yeah, we're doing
Welcome.
good. We're doing good.
You doing good?
Yes, we're doing great.
All right. So we want to go ahead and get started. Tonight we are looking at a very important topic and something that I believe we overlook a lot, especially, I wouldn't say every woman, but a lot of women overlook what does a man want and sometimes or need actually in a marriage. And sometimes we believe that this is just their personal desires in terms of, oh, he just wants it because it makes him feel good. And we do not realize that these things are embedded. Some of these things are embedded in a man because that's how God made them. And so, in the caption for the advertisement of tonight's live, I asked the question, is it based on the man's desire, his personal desire, or is this something that is driving from the inside? There's a force, there's a deeper divine purpose saying, this is something I need because God made him like that. And so tonight we're looking at the biological wiring of the man and the divine purpose that he's born in. And of course, his personal desires in terms of what does a man need to function well in a marriage, to thrive in a marriage, and to give you their best self as a wife, okay? Or as somebody who's courting or dating for marriage. What does this man need? And so we're gonna go ahead before we go ahead.
Yeah, I like what you said. It's
Excuse me.
something that is not really
Excuse me, guys.
talked about. And I always say this. It pretty much seems like in this day and age, a man's needs are placed in the
Yeah.
back burner. Whether by himself
Yes.
or
Yeah.
just his partner. And so tonight I'm happy that we're really diving in this discussion.
Yes.
That persons, especially men, sometimes we get so bombarded by life itself, just showing up in our families, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's hard to really think about ourselves.
Yes.
Sometimes you get lost just trying to please everybody, trying
Yeah.
to stand in the gap for your family, for your wife. It's demanding.
Just
Life demands a lot of
Yes.
from you as a man. And so we rarely talk about or share how we truly feel at times.
Yes.
And so tonight, it's really, kind of putting it out there for the men that, feel like sharing their emotions
Yes.
is like, a hard task.
Yeah.
Because of society, as we always talk about, we have to be strong, don't share
And
this and don't
silent.
talk about this. And also just not feeling like you're having that safe space to be vulnerable. So
Yes.
hopefully tonight, a wife or somebody that is, courting
Yes.
can, kind of get an understanding the mind of a man, his feelings, his thoughts that he might be afraid to share. And so you are able to, navigate, as we always say, in making your relationship, your marriage better.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing
Yes,
that.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
That's a
yes,
very
yes.
great way to start. And I like the part where you said men a lot of times neglect themselves. And so if they're even doing better, if they want to do better, most times it's to do better for this woman or to do better for my children. But excuse me, a lot of times it's not to do better for themselves first. And so there is that self neglect and even rejection that we may perceive from others towards us. And in this context, it's about the men. So sometimes men may feel rejected, but rejection is twofold. Most of the times, it starts with that self rejection. Or if someone or other people rejected you, then over time, the self rejection creeps in.
Yes.
And so that's a very good point. Men, we're here to encourage you to do it for yourself first. Do it for yourself before you can even extend functionality to others, your family, your wife. Okay? So I want to talk about the first one is what is God's design? We're gonna merge them. So tonight we're looking at the biological. Is this man made like this, or is this man actually just wanting this personally because he wants to just shine as the man in the home? A woman once told me men are to get used to rejection because it will come often in their lives. It will. It will come.
It's a reality.
The world is wired to reject.
Yeah, it's a reality of this world. But I don't think we should get used to that.
Don't normalize.
Yeah, don't because again, getting used to it is pretty much dimming the light in how we should show up.
Right.
How we should express ourselves as men, and so getting to that place where no. I don't think that's a healthy place to be. Is it the reality of how life is and this world is going? It is. But never get, as a man, never get sensitized to that, because again, you will be get lost in the, as we always say,
Yeah, you
lost in the
get
sauce,
yeah.
where you're not pretty much willing to open up. It's pretty much, you say, it makes it worse.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's a fact, but
Yeah. I think though what the other side of that is to maybe what he or Brian is saying is to try to build capacity or
Yes.
extend capacity
Yes.
wherein you're not thrown off guard when there is rejection. So in
True.
that
True.
context,
True.
I
Yeah.
absolutely agree where
Yes.
you must build capacity, teach your brain and your body to understand that this world may be cruel to men and it is something that you'll have to learn how to again stretch your capacity to learn how to function and still have a healthy mindset and nervous system to actually tolerate life's hardships
Yes.
because
Yes.
it will come. So thank you for
Thank
sharing
you
that,
for that,
Brian.
Brian.
Very
Thank
good
you.
point.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead with number one. So again, we're gonna merge the theories regarding the different aspects, the science,
I Team Christian.
the
Big up.
biology. Hello, Team Christian, and the psychology of this topic. And we want to look at companionship as God's design. One of the first things we must understand is that God made man to want a companion. And we look at even the first man in the garden, Adam and Eve, Genesis 2:18, where God said it's not good for man to be alone. So Adam had a job, quote unquote job. He was in the garden. He had work. He had purpose, and he was in communion with God. But God said it's still not good for him to be alone. And then there comes woman. God created woman from the man, and so when we look at that, we realize that it is still needed for men to have companionship. This world sometimes it's cruel to men, and men are isolated in a way where they are judged harshly. Not saying that men should not have a very strong standard by which we look at their functionality,
Yes.
because there's much required from a man. But at the same time, we must remember that a man is biologically wired to have a someone. And so, men, if you are out there and you may not think that it is very important to actually have companionship with your one partner, I urge you to start to pray and ask the Lord, okay, who do you want me to align with for my purpose? Because it's very important for you to fulfill what God embed in you biologically and psychologically and spiritually for you to have companionship. Now, ladies, science shows that when a man has companionship, the touch in that relationship, male female touch in that man's life. So this is not just something the man wants personally. This is how God made them.
Yes.
And that's the big part. If God made a man to want companionship, studies show and science show that biologically, when a man is touched, he's hugged, he's kissed, he's just loved upon, he releases a lot of or higher levels of oxytocin. And so what that does is that it is the bonding hormone. And when the man is bonded with his better half or his spouse, then guess what? It is excuse me, one of the highest ingredients for consistent performance.
Yes.
And I'm not just talking about intimate performance. I'm talking about even how he shows up in the world. In the world. So marriage actually is that outlet where God creates to regulate stress for the man and to regulate and stabilize his emotions and to stabilize and lengthen his lifespan.
Yes.
Because when we look at touch, there's a life in touch. And we're not going to get into the whole biological, the electron is not electronics, electric spark. But oxytocin plays a very big part in how that man's life is, I think it was an energy high, excuses low. Yeah. So there is that big comparison to how much he shows up. Is he making excuses? Is he isolating? Is he underperforming? Or is he at a higher functionality? Because companionship is not just his personal desire, it's a biological wiring and a spiritual divine wiring for that man. So that is number one.
Amen. Amen. I
Amen.
love that. I love that analogy. Why? Because
Excuse me.
in a nutshell, it speaks about identity. And why I say that is because for a lot of us to get the revelation of, something divine as
Yeah.
marriage, something divine as a man and a woman coming together, you have to, know your identity.
Yeah.
And so it gives you a different approach,
Yes.
how we approach each other, as husbands and wife, how we approach the institution of marriage.
Yes.
It gives us that revelation where
Yes.
we are not walking into something as boyfriend and girlfriend. We are walking into something as, spiritual beings living in a physical body. Enter into this union where that God has given
Right.
us.
Right. Right.
And so, it helps us to show up better. It helps us to show up intentionally.
Yes.
And just to see each other in a different light,
Yes.
in a space where we're not taking this thing for
Right.
granted.
Right. Right. Right.
So we are really pushing to, as we quote unquote we say, serve each other.
Yes.
So I really like that analogy. But as I say, a lot of times for us to really show up better,
Yes.
to show up as we should in our unions, in our marriage, is getting that revelation.
Yes.
It's understanding from a biological perspective,
Yes.
and understanding from a spiritual perspective.
Yeah.
And so we're able to show up even better. So
Right.
yeah, I love that. I really love that.
Thank you.
Um,
Number
so
two.
that's the first one. All right. So number two is honor and respect. Right, honor and respect. Right. That's where we're at.
That's yours. Is that your point? I said my point. What's your point?
Yeah, honor,
That's your
honor
first
and
point.
respect. And for that is something big for a man. And I
Yeah.
said that before. A man feels like a man when he's honored. A man feels like a man when he's respected.
Yeah.
And so, as a woman, as women, you have to realize that for a man to show up in his true self, in his best self,
Yeah.
you have to pretty much, we'll talk about, stroking that man's ego, letting that man feel like he's able to, conquer the world. There's so many things that a man have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. There's so many things that a man has to take on.
Yeah.
And so you have to speak to that man, speak into that man, right? There are things that he might do. We're talking about small things, whether it is small or big. It's not just looking over that situation and say, well, it is what it is, but really praising that man.
Or like things that he accomplishes or
Yeah,
help
it's his,
with,
his
okay.
accomplishments. You understand?
Or things he does in the home.
Or he does. One of the biggest light that I do see, especially in our relationship in the past, where it made me feel small, was just how we dealt with our children, or how I dealt with our children. For a man in the house, you as women, you have to be careful how you speak to that man, especially when it comes to the children aspect, if you get what I'm saying. Parenting aspect,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The parenting aspect, how you speak to that man. Like, for instance, if he says, listen, go do that, and sometimes the wife might feel some type of way about it, and then you're correcting the man in front of the children.
Oh, so you're giving an example of what
Yeah.
respect is towards the man.
You understand?
Yeah.
You have to be careful how you correct that man in front of the children.
Okay.
It's good to step aside,
Okay.
deal with that situation,
Yeah.
where the children are not in play. So at the end of the day, you can both be on the same page, where one doesn't feel like you're speaking over,
Yeah.
or you're speaking against what he's doing. You understand? Creating that safe space for your partner in how you communicate these situations.
Right.
So that is something that is so important for a man. Affirmation. Again, it goes to the small things and the great things. Speaking into that man's
Get on
life.
to number 3.
No, it's not.
It's the same one?
Yeah, it's pretty much in the same thing.
Okay.
Honor and respect. Allowing that man to fail. There are times when, as a man, we like to do things on our own.
Yeah.
Feeling like a man. Ego. We like to, do things and
Yeah.
sometimes learn from it. But what I realize also is that to be a true leader, you have to know how to, take wise counsel.
Yeah.
Right? Again, wives, I'm not saying that you should see your partner, doing something reckless and just stand
I
by.
respect you.
Yeah, and say I
We're
respect
gonna
you.
do it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really about coming to that place where at the end of the day we can both have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
And so as men, men, don't be at that place where you're not able to listen to wise counsel
Yeah.
from your wife.
Yes.
Not being at that place where you feel like, okay, it's my way or the highway, but being open, being vulnerable to listen, take
Yes.
corrections and a whole, and navigate in that same space. But wives, just how you come off sometimes can really
Yeah.
kind of dim the light where that man is feeling like, okay, I'm feeling disrespected or whatever be the case. So
All right.
that is also a big part when it comes
That's
to,
a very big part
yeah.
regarding what men need. And they say that women need love and men need respect. There's this book, I forget the author's name, I think it's Dr. Ellen or something like that. But he wrote about love and respect, and that was one of the main points where men don't necessarily translate love into, the little cute things that you do, but or we do as women, but they translate this sense of importance and love through the respect that we give. And like you said, if a decision is made and we override the decision, excuse me, they don't see that as respectful. And we would say, oh, but I have a point too, or I have a choice to make, or I have a decision to make too. And that would be dimming the light, as you rightly said, on their sense of importance.
Yes.
And so when it comes down to the biological part of this and how God made men, studies show that men's testosterone is linked to drive and achievement when he's respected. So his testosterone level is linked to his drive, his achievement, his status, and he performs better when he's respected, when he feels secure in his identity. And the other side of that is if he's disrespected, then the stress of that spike cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and it undermines his sense of performance and his manhood.
Yes.
So sometimes, ladies, when you see your husbands, they don't want to come home, or they don't perform well, or they're losing their jobs every minute or every week or every month or whatever, or they're not performing so well like we know that they could do. Check how we are nurturing that man. Check how we speak to that man. Check how we are actually showing respect to that man, because a lot of men feel disrespected. And sometimes we, as ladies, ask them, don't just assume that we are
Yes.
respectful.
Yes.
Don't just assume that because we never tell them to, about them parts, or we never use curse words, that we're disrespectful. Sometimes it's as simple, or you honored or you valued somebody's decision over theirs, or what they said or established as traditions and laws in the home are overstepped and the boundaries are not honored.
Yes.
The family life is looked at as his space, his kingdom, his domain. And so if that, even in the tone, like, ladies, we are very, very good at, exemplifying authority in
Yes. Yes.
tone and body language and non-verbal communications. As a woman, we're good at that. Excuse me. And so a lot of times it is the things that we do, or it's the things that we don't say sometimes, that makes them feel disrespected. And so a man does not perform at his best. That's how he was made. That's how he was made by God. So again, this is not just something your partner does want because he wants to feel like, oh, he's the boss. No, he was wired like this. And the great thing about this is, I see this firsthand. When a man is wired like that, and we give and we fulfill that role, it turns out to be for our good.
Yes.
Because if he's a protector, if his role is validated as provider, protector, and leader, do you understand the powerhouse you have in your house for you and your children? He will be there to serve you. Because a man will turn against a man, but a man will protect a woman.
Yes.
And if a woman in the marriage behaves like a man, then you're going to cause your spouse to be turned against you. Because a man will fight a man.
Amen.
A man will fight a man. Brian says, excuse me, I've recently come to the realization that people say not having children in a relationship is a big issue, but also children in a relationship is, and how both deal with parenting is also, listen, both of them are big challenges, both. But I guess it ultimately winds down to the decision of that couple and what they plan to do with their lives and how they plan to navigate with or without children. So that's a very, very good point.
I think while children is actually a situation that you know changes marriages, changes relationship, as everything else,
All right.
because again, marriage comes with a lot,
Excuse me.
right? So everything that comes in, it really is either it takes
Makes or break.
away,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes or break the marriage.
Yes.
And so it's really about the individuals,
Yes.
both persons really get into that place where they're able to communicate, they're able to, just share their thoughts and emotions, and,
Yeah.
and how to navigate.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, pretty much um it's pretty much calling for us to stay single.
Right.
Because if we're not able to be with somebody and take on these different changes that comes with life, that comes with marriage, it's best to stay single. And so that's why we always encourage, it's very important that before you enter into marriage, make sure that you spend time
Right.
to work on yourself. Make sure you spend time to, develop these skills, these capacity. And I understand you'll never be perfect for marriage.
Yeah.
You'll never be
Or
perfect
parenting.
for parenting. You'll never be perfect for marriage. But at the same time, when you do that individual work,
Yeah.
right, you're able to build that capacity that no matter what comes, because these things are a part of marriage. We're not just getting married just to be,
Yeah.
just to, quote unquote single person. We're
In the
together,
marriage,
but yeah,
right. Mm-hmm.
there are things that is expected to come from our union.
Right.
And so it's really about us as two persons in this thing,
Yeah.
working together. You understand? Building together.
Yeah.
And so if we're at that place where we're not able to do this, and while different things come into play,
Yes.
listen, I best is to stay single,
Yeah.
right? Best
Yeah.
to stay single. Hey, you know.
Okay.
All right. So
Alright.
yeah.
Number
So the
two.
other one
Number three.
yeah. So the other one is the other one is uh partnership and teamwork, right? That is so important for a man, right? Why do I say that? It's good to be able to be in something that you feel like both persons are working together. For a man, and I always hear this. Um, a person might ask a woman, "What do you bring to the table?"
She is a table.
And she will tell you she's the table, right?
Ladies, do you say that too?
Yeah, she's the
Yeah, I
table.
am the table.
And then
Yeah.
some will, in their mind, it's almost like bringing sex. You understand? You'll cook and you'll clean
Yeah.
and all that type of stuff. But at the same time, a man can get that. You understand?
In other contexts,
Yeah,
yeah.
a man can get sex. A man can cook. A man that is rounded.
Right. You can
He's
buy
able.
food.
Yeah, he's able to do all that for himself.
Yes.
Right. And so if a woman is not bringing something of substance
Right.
to the table, you're starting a business, how can we build that business together? What
Yes.
kind of mindset do you have when it comes to building an empire?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you there on an intellectual level? Are you there on a nurturing level? Because you need that nurturing spirit
Yeah.
to speak life into what we're building. Right. So
Yeah.
for a lot of women, it's almost like it all boils down to cooking and cleaning and
Yeah.
sexual intercourse and all that type of stuff.
That's true.
But for a man, a rounded man, he needs more than that.
Yeah. Because remember, the man comes with purpose.
Right.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
comes with something to do. God made him with something to do. So wifey has to be able to align ourselves to that and carry that out, help him to carry it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
are you that person that I'm able to trust? You know, I'm able to say, listen, do this, and know that you're not going to, be lackadaisic in how you show up in this. You understand? So that for a man is so important.
Yeah.
Again, a rounded man is able to cook for himself, he's able to clean. You can get that anywhere. Sex. What does a woman bring to that man? Are you able to bring that that thing that helps a man to build in whatever capacity he needs to build,
Yeah.
right? Knowing how to speak into that man's life, because again, you have a lot of men while they're on their grind, while they're pushing to get things done,
Yeah.
just needs that person to say, listen, you can do it, right? You're able to do it. No
Yeah.
matter what you're going to, babe, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Right? So if a woman does not possess that,
Yeah. It's gonna be challenging.
it's gonna be challenging.
Absolutely. Today I saw a post regarding a husband and a wife, and the husband was saying that when they just got married, he had a lot of dreams. He's a dreamer. And the wife was the one who pushed the brakes on his dreams. Okay, you have a lot of dreams, but do not just run with every wind and whim and fantasy. Put a brake on some things. And she was his structure. And so he thought that she was too rigid, and she stopped him in a lot of the things that she wanted to do. But this woman had a strength that he didn't have. She had steps and strategies
Yes.
and standards of procedure. We call them SOPs.
Yes.
She had that, and he didn't. He had dreams. He had the mindset to go further, the vision, but he did not have standards. He did not have procedures. He didn't have operation. He didn't have what we call now, a lot of coaches use CRMs and the relational tools to capture the information. That was her.
She brought
She
structure.
brought structure to that man's dreams. And today, because I saw them on the list for, it's not Forbes, it's 5,000 Inc. or 500 Inc. They made the list, their family business, their home business, their, what you call those businesses, like you just say, family owned businesses, they are on the list, the 5,000 Inc. or the 500, I think it's 500 or 5,000, but whatever it is, they made it on one of America's top business hierarchy, where the structure, the foundation, the business that was that impactful. It's a
Yes.
multi-million dollar business right now, and they're on the list, a husband and a wife, and it's year 20 for them in business, and they're still together, still working hard. She brought the standard and the procedures, he brought the dreams.
Uh,
They're on the stages of some of the biggest people. I don't know if y'all know even Russell Brunson, but they were on the stage with Russell, and Russell is one of the world's greatest marketer, and that couple was there.
yes.
So it starts out as the man has dreams, the woman saw this, spoke into his life, managed the dream in terms of aligning with his purpose. She had her own thing going on, but she still spoke into that purpose. And
Yes.
so the alignment and partnership and teamwork, sometimes it's hard. It is hard. Another person who was in business told me that one of the strongest marriages is the marriage that has the couple doing something together.
Yes.
And at the time I said, how does that work? Because my husband loves fashion and I love mental health. Like, how do you merge those two? At the time, we weren't doing when two become one. And so I grew very comfortable in the fact that mental health and trauma work, and my husband loves fashion because he's very
Real
good with
estate.
fashion and real estate
Yeah.
and the pharmaceuticals. That's him. He likes medicine. And so I was not that type. And I was saying, I don't know how I'm going to merge that with trauma. But at the same time, excuse me, it doesn't mean that what you're doing now in your own calling is what y'all need to do together. It means that God embedded in you some way, somehow, how you can support or work with him in what he is doing. And so the submission and alignment to his purpose. Ephesians 5:22 to 24 talks about submission being a divine order.
Yes.
It's not control. It's a divine order for stability in your home. It's for your betterment. Ladies, it is our betterment. It is,
Mm-hmm.
aka, the ticket to our dreams when we are submissive.
Yes.
Because it's not a control, it's power under control, but it is also an order in which, when we align, it releases our men into the God given authority and
Mm-hmm.
purpose. When we align, when we submit, as hard as it be, and we have our own opinions, yes, we can share them, but we don't rebel against what God made him to do. We help him. And so when we align to that, we are actually pushing that man in God's hands, pushing him into God's hands.
Yes.
And it helps with his psychological development. Remember, we said tonight, we're
Mm-hmm.
merging the three parts: his desire, his biological makeup, and the divine purpose. Does this man just want these things? Absolutely not. There's a cry in every man to get these things because God made him that way for
Yes.
your good and for his purpose. And so when a man is aligned with and is in purpose, what is happening is that he feels like he's trusted. He feels like he's trusted, and he feels like responsibility is released in his hands,
Mm-hmm.
and he can flourish without the wives being the one controlling a thing. Infidelity, a lot of times, is the to prove a point based on research that the wife don't control me. Like, men get rebellious too and say, this is one area that my wife can't touch. So, ladies, sin is there, yes. Lust, we're enticed by our own lust. It's his decision. But at the
Yes.
same time, we have to remember that God made men a certain way. They're wired differently from a woman. A man is wired differently. And so when we align with them again, they are more, they move more into their risk taking zone. They move more
Yes.
into their mission driven zone. Because remember, this is linked to, as biologists say, testosterone and dopamine, the
Mm-hmm.
reward system, and the oxytocins, the bonding, because she's aligning. It's like you said, she's saying, I believe in you. I believe in you. And this fuels his confidence and his vision.
Amen.
Always remember that couple I told you about. On the World 500 or 5,000 Inc., their home business made it on the stage with one of the some of the biggest people right now in business, because wifey had standards and procedures. She aligned with his dream, and that man dreamed, and she showed him the 10 steps: do this, do this, do that. And they're now reaping the rewards.
Amen.
All right, so next one, please. Oh, that was yours. That
You
was
sure
yours.
the one year that whole and long episode.
That was his point, and I added the other part to it. So my next one is, let me see which one I'm gonna choose. So we did respect, we did the companionship, sexual intimacy. Sex is both spiritual and biological, right? We know that, right? Yes, wink, wink. We know that. And First Corinthians 7, 3 to 5 teaches us that it is not just a personal desire, but it is a biological wiring that sex is met, or sexual needs are met, especially for our men, because it's not just, again, a personal desire, it's covenant, and it's affirming, and it's bonding regarding how God made him. Now imagine you have an animal that's thirsty, and you want this
Mm.
animal to carry you 4 miles, and you refuse to fulfill the thirst, like
Yes.
give this animal some water to drink. He's gonna pass out half along the way, along the journey. So it's the same thing with the man who is equipped and who is called to fulfill and provide for the family and lead the family. If he's not refreshed, let's use that word, excuse me, for the sake of YouTube, if he's not refreshed, if he's not bonded with, if he's not communed with, we don't want YouTube to flag us, but we are talking about sexual intimacy. If that is not there, and if that is not, and as men, like you say, you don't want to feel like a job. You don't want it to feel like another part of the daily job a woman has to do, but it should really be something that we are willingly, happily participating in, being a part of. It's creating with our spouse. Biological reasoning and spiritual reasoning, men are wired with a higher baseline of testosterone. So typically, it will seem like wives every day they want to commune.
Yes.
Yes. And so this sometimes can cause a little pressure on us and as females, right? Because let's face it, we're tired. We're tired. But I heard a young lady say the other day that it is not an excuse.
Not an
It
excuse.
is not, and she was even talking about PMS with women. It is not an excuse because we should serve our husbands. I agree with you, sister. I agree. I agree. I agree. But so the baseline is higher, and that means that their increased desire for intimacy is there. It's deeper than even biology. It's spiritual, and so it equates emotional reassurance for men. And not only that, it boosts the pleasure reward system, again, reinforcing feelings of love and commitment and regulation. Regulation. Neurologically, it settles him, right?
Yes.
I feel like you should be talking about this part. You're talking about men and intimacy.
Well,
No, no,
you
no, no,
got
no.
that
We want
topic.
to hear
You know,
about.
yes. Again, you know, it's deep. It's way deeper. Um, in a sense
Excuse
where,
me.
again, as you mentioned, you know, it's understanding why God gave us sex,
Yeah.
and so it goes back to identity. It goes back to understanding why God created sex,
Yeah.
and so we're able to show up in a different way, in a more intentional way. I say that also, for a lot of especially women, what I realize is that you have a lot of women that has never really gotten to that place where they have tapped into their sexuality,
Yeah.
right? You might be brought up, and let's say we might be talking to Christians and unsaved, but let's say before you got saved, and you're dibbling and dabbling in that whole world, and so for you sex was pretty much you show up and you do a thing, and it might be quick, it might be, you understand. So the essence, the essence, that understanding of sex and understanding
Yeah.
of your body and how you show up, and just these little details was really not
Yeah. It's not highlighted.
embedded in your mind.
Yeah.
And so you bring that same mindset, and even as men, we and let's say for myself, get caught up in the whole daggering yeah, it's a Jamaican,
Yeah. Clarify
yeah.
for them because some people may not understand
Yeah,
what
the
that is.
daggering culture, meaning that you just jump on and bam 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 bam, really not really taking your time,
Yeah. Love making
yeah, like
versus just
taking your
slam bam.
time to ease into it. And so you bring that same thing into marriage, right? We bring that same way of doing things in our marriage, and
Yeah.
so you get your wife now, and you just bring in the same culture,
Yes.
not taking the time to know her body, not taking the time to caress, not taking the time to build that intimacy. And I'm not talking about the sex part. You
Yeah.
understand?
Bond. Yeah.
Yeah, that bonding process
Connection.
where you're truly connecting with your partner. And so you have a lot of you have a lot of wives that are suffering now.
Yeah.
You know, you have a lot of wives that are suffering because the person that they got married to does not understand what true intimacy looks like. Right? Does not understand what true foreplay looks like.
Oh, man, YouTube.
No man, you have to say worst thing I said, and they're still there.
Yes.
But that's not a foreplay. Like you don't understand what that true foreplay looks like,
Yeah.
and so you enter into your marriage with that same slam bam thank you madam type of mentality. After you're done, there's no cuddling,
Yeah.
there's no conversation, there's no communicating with each other about
Yeah.
do you like it? What do you like? What you don't like? And as we were talking about the other day,
Yeah.
you have wives that they look at their bodies as pretty much as a tool, right? A tool where a man just comes and your husband just comes and he just does whatever and
That's it.
leave, right? And so you have that little mindset where you're not even thinking about, verbalizing your needs,
Right.
verbalizing how you feel. Even if it's not comfortable, you're not,
Yeah.
talking about,
Advocating.
yeah, you're just taking it because you're saying, okay, as a woman, I just
That's
know
what we're made for.
we, yeah, just to lay down and take it, and then we get up and, move on. You understand?
Yeah.
S-
So that's a topic for
Yeah, that's a topic. Yeah,
I
that's a
was gonna
topic.
mention that point, but I said, you know what, if we get into that, we're gonna end up on a whole topic for another
Yeah,
night.
so there's a root cause both
Yeah.
on the male side and on the female side in how we show up in this intimate setting.
Yeah.
And so the flavor, the whole essence of what sex truly means or what it looks like, on a deep perspective,
We don't know.
yeah,
It's
we just don't
ignorance.
know.
It's
You
ignorance.
understand? We just don't know, or we
Yeah.
just choose to work with the flow of what we
Right.
were taught.
What we see.
Culture. What we see on the TV, for especially for persons that
Excuse me.
watch a lot of pornography. You understand? The visual of what sex looks like is just what we carry. We carry it from single days right into
Yeah.
marriage, and that is what the boat that we're floating on.
Ever focused on the
Never
spiritual
focus on the spiritual side
before.
before
Hi, good night.
profound. They only focus on saying physical for men.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you understand?
That's a good point,
Very good point, Brian.
Brian.
That's really the focus. And so sex again, especially for a lot of women, it becomes a chore. It feels like work because all you're getting out of it is just bam, 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 and then we just roll
roll off.
over.
Yeah.
We just roll over and I would just go to bed. So,
And nobody wants that. Like,
yeah,
that's boring. That's lame. And
it's
that is work.
it's really I feel like for this to be different, you have to go back and root up,
Rewire.
rewire, our mindset as men, rewire, mindset as women that, you're able to, and again, it's a big
Listen.
self-love, yeah, as a woman,
Before.
loving yourself,
Yeah.
self-love. And I say self-love because you have so many women that validation has to come from a man. Baby, like how my body look. Baby, like how this look. If that man does not like it, your whole world crashes.
Shut down. Yeah.
Your whole world crashes because your validation has to come from a man. Your identity is found in your spouse. And so it starts from you as an individual, self-love, loving yourself, you can look in the mirror and say, listen, you're beautiful. Regardless of the little this on the side and the little that on the side. Listen, I am priceless.
Priceless.
So once you're able to get to that place as a wife, you can stand in your bedroom, the lights on, and I do understand. Sometimes you have a husband that is just wired a certain.
Some man terrible.
Yeah.
Some men, they don't know how to validate and give kind words.
Yeah, some men are wired a different way.
Differently.
But again, it goes back to self-love.
Yeah.
It goes back to how you show up for yourself, your mindset, your thought process on how you feel in this intimate moment.
Yeah.
You understand? So,
Girl, you're the standard.
yeah.
And men, you are the standard too.
Is it my time?
Yeah, I was gonna wrap up by saying the pleasure-based life is something that has to be taught even before we get into the bedroom. Intimacy and sexuality starts before the bedroom. We're gonna leave it at that because we need to teach one night on this, the pleasure-based life. Okay.
We have a lot to say. That's the, as I
that
said,
one.
The Zoom thing that we have this
The 25th of September.
25th,
You need to
show
get
up.
on
You're able
board.
to learn a lot more. We're not able to say too much
Yeah.
on these
Jaw dropping.
yeah.
Please
so,
come out.
So show up,
September
guys, show up.
25.
So the other one I wanted to mention is pretty much close to this aspect. Feeling desired. A man, that's something that is deep for him. Feeling desired, as wives, you have to let your partner feel desired. Again, if I said it before, you forsake all to be with you. And we're not talking about a man that his eyes are all over the place. Wandering eyes, we will say.
Yeah, it's not a prove a point.
Yeah, we're talking
Yeah.
about a man that is committed to his relationship, committed
Right.
to his marriage, committed to the person that he's with.
Right. So wife and have to run a competition.
Yeah, so you have to let that man feel like he's the it.
Yeah.
Whether he's out of shape or he's in shape, let him,
6 pound.
yeah, let him feel like
Yeah.
the it. Set time apart for these moments where you can stroke his ego. You
Yes.
understand? You give him a massage. Again, I always say that.
Yeah.
You understand? Let him feel special because, again, for a man, when that is not, there, when he's not able to feel that from his partner,
Yeah.
his self-esteem goes down. How he shows up, whether it's at work, whether it's around his friends, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that light is dim. And so as his wife, you possess that electricity to charge that man's ego.
Hallelujah.
You understand? You have the power to charge that man's ego.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, when he's charged, he's able to show up as
Yeah.
again, as use your analogy, Superman in the marriage. He's able to jump over this and do this, like you said. This he's showing up.
Yeah.
So set time apart to pour into that man.
Yeah.
Let him feel special. Let him feel desired. Cook him a nice meal, something special. It doesn't have to be his birthday or whatever it is. Do some little things that let that man feel that, listen, babe, you are the it for me.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. I think we overlook that point a lot, where we think that men don't really want to be desired, and it's just a woman thing to be, validated and to be seen, to be heard, and to be told that you look good, you smell good, I want to be next to you. That's men want that too. Men want that too. So my next one is encouragement and support, and it links to yours regarding the reinforce it. Like, we have a bad habit of telling our men, ladies, that we appreciate them, we see them, they're doing a good job. And Proverbs 31:11 verse 12 says, a wife does her husband good all the days of his life, and a man draws strength from his wife's encouragement. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Listen, these things, that's why I love the word of God, because God is not partial and he's not biased. He's not biased. And so we see the aspects of the man's functionality and his strength, the spiritual aspect, his purpose. So let me read that again. Proverbs 31:11-12 says, a wife, does her husband good all the days of his life, and a man draws strength from his wife's encouragement. He draws strength from your words. And look at the opposite of that. If he draws strength from your encouragement, then what happens to him if you disrespect him, or you do not encourage him, or you do not tell him that you appreciate him, or you do not validate or let him know you see him? Then he gets weak. And it may not be weak physically. And let me tell you, lethargy and fatigue and irritation set in if the man is despondent. If he's in low moods, or sometimes depressed or sad or low, he's going to be weak. You're going to break his spirit. And so that was something that really drove home to me, like, wow, this is in the word of God. It's in the Bible. And so biologically, research shows that married men that are in supportive relationships have lower rates of depression. Lower rates of depression, lower rates of heart disease, because the cortisol level is low, the stress hormone level is low, and that the brain, so the wife's encouragement is actually a buffer between the brain and the stress of life. The wife is not just standing in the gap spiritually, because as man and wife, you have authority over each other. And so in the spirit, that is the order, the divine order. But even in the natural, the biological, the psychological, the wife's encouragement literally buffers a man's brain against stress hormones and helps him to recover faster from setbacks. There's a saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone.
Yes.
But if you want to go far, go together. That's a very good one. Very good one. So, biologically, he needs to be reinforced. If you want the best out of a man, woman, we got to practice how to become this, preferably before we become wives. And how do we do this? I started doing something like this. I'm married, yes, but I started doing something like this. Learning how to honor a man. If I see a man going, the door needs to be opened, I try not to run in front of him and open it and say, oh, come on in. I step back and I allow the man to do his thing. If I step in a room and there's a meeting and it's men and women, I do not overtalk the men in the meeting, because we need to have a society that goes back to the place of respecting men. Respecting men. I know femininity and all of that is there in the feminine culture and cancel men and da da da. But we need to go back to the biblical practice of helping men to understand that we need them. And so we don't dump them down. We don't discourage them. We don't cast them aside. But we help to spark that fire within the purpose of the man. And it starts from our homes. It starts from the home. Next.
Yes. All right, so we try to speed this up, guys. Yeah, trust and transparency. I feel like that is important. In our relationship overall. For a man, I think it's important also, where a man, is able to trust his partner.
Yeah.
And I know women, require trust also. Again, it's vice versa. So but for a man, it holds a great level of weight because he's able to be vulnerable. He's able to say, listen, I can eat what you cook. I can drink what anything that you prepare.
Yeah,
I
sleep
can
with one eye
trust you.
open.
Yeah, I can trust you with my money. I can
Yeah.
leave and know that everything is taken care of. The kids, the household. He's able to trust that spouse pretty much with his life.
SOPs.
Yeah, and so it's so important when a man has somebody that is, holding him down, is able to cover him even when he makes mistake. She's there to cover him, pretty much you just say shield him, and still help him to to get back up. So trusting your partner,
Yeah.
having a partner that you're able to trust,
Yeah.
having
Very
a
important.
partner that you're able to just be vulnerable in that sense. Because vulnerability doesn't come easy for a man. It takes a lot. You understand? So as a spouse, you're able to create that atmosphere. You're able to,
Yeah.
show your spouse that, listen, you can trust me 100%. I don't have to feel. You don't have to feel like, okay, you have to be looking over, because I guarantee you have marriages that you have persons that are looking over their shoulders.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
can be because, or most times because of something that is done, or it can be coming from trauma. It can be coming from a place where, or you say place before the marriage, pretty much. So that is very vital for a relationship. That is vital for a man. So spouse, create that atmosphere that your partner can trust you, your man can trust you, and know that, listen, I got your back, I got your back, I got your back.
All right, keep going. I'm done.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I think I have like I think I have two more. A man's peace.
Yeah. Big one. Big one. Big one.
A man's peace. OMG.
Man need peace.
Women, wives, a man loves his peace. There's a war that goes on in a man's mind on a day-to-day basis.
Wow.
I promise you, your husband might not say it, but I promise you, there's a war that goes on in a man's mind on a day-to-day basis. You have a lot of husbands right now because of how their wives are. They will sit in the car.
Wow. That's
You
true.
understand, until it's time to go to bed, or it's time
It's a
to,
long time.
when they know that their partner might be doing something that does not, impede their space,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
they're not able, or they don't really come around in those times. They might be doing something else,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so they
yeah.
will just lock away. You understand? You have to be that peace for your man, that he's able to rush from work to get home.
Wow. Yes.
Leave everything, friends, to rush home, to be in that safe space.
Yeah.
When you talk about job, for the men that are out there, hustling and putting in the work for their family. You understand? When you talk about that war, especially for a man, that war that they have to, like, as men have to deal with, when it comes to, yeah,
Yeah.
home should be
Safe
is
haven.
safe
Yeah.
haven. The war that goes on when it comes to the nakedness that men refuse to talk about. We deal with that, these nakedness, women out there just walking around flaunting it
Yeah.
on a day-to-day basis. You understand that we have to stay loyal, we have to stay faithful,
Yep.
live at the foot of the cross as men.
Yeah.
You understand?
Absolutely.
So nobody wants to come home and to a nagging wife, a wife that is just nigging nagging. She find problems with every dig and thing.
Criticism.
Everything in this world is an issue, is a problem.
Yeah.
You understand? Wives, when your husband comes home, just give him a hug. If you only understand what a hug does, you don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Just give him a hug.
That's true.
You understand? But because for a lot of us, we weren't cultured that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a lot of us, we have never really seen that, growing up, where
The
our
modeling.
mothers, our mother did that, or, our aunties or our grandmother, whatever it is. We're just used to him come home, wagwan, like, it's just a normal
Yeah.
response. You get what I'm saying? It's just a normal response. Touch, hug. How was your day? Like, give him that safe space to,
Yeah.
to be able to talk. And that's why a lot of men, they don't talk.
Wow.
Because that safe space was not created for that man. You understand? That safe space was not created for that man. So a lot of times we, especially women, you might wonder, like, why is this a certain way in my marriage? Why is this a certain way in this? Why is this a certain way? Because you have not really tapped into that realm. You have not tapped into that place where you're saying, listen, it's almost like this, it's self be slain.
Like that humility.
That humility, you understand? Change the whole narrative, that normalcy that is there. Him just come home and it's like nothing. Who dey on them phone, who's on that? Give him some attention.
Yeah.
Especially for the men that are out there just grinding day after day after
Yeah.
day after day, putting in the work.
Amen. Blossom say amen.
Yeah, you can't take it for granted.
That's true.
You understand?
That's true.
You have to change that trajectory. You have to change that mindset. You have to change that way of life that you were. And I said this before. I said this on another life.
Yeah.
A lot of us are, our parents are living through us.
Yeah. That's true.
Our parents are living through us. We're living through our parents' trauma. We're pretty much mirroring what we learned, what we brought up
Recycling
and
it.
saw. If he feels safe, he gains the security he needs to.
To be
Yeah,
vulnerable. Yeah. That's true.
it's creating safety for that man, and I promise you, you'll see a big difference. Sometimes and again, women, I understand. Again, I understand.
Yeah.
What y'all go through, what y'all
Yeah.
dealt with, and all that type of stuff. But at the same
Why we
time,
come off strong.
you hold the keys to making your home, your house a home.
Yes.
Right? You hold the keys in making your house a home. You can that lion that you have in your house, you can turn that lion into a sheep, but it's gonna take work.
And it's not bad for him to be a lion.
right? Yeah, it's not bad for him to be a lion because
Yeah.
he needs that side to
Right.
protect you. He needs that side to show up. You need that side to, to give that masculine energy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to create that balance in that man. But it starts from you. It's easy to point fingers at our partner. Our partner is this way, our partner is that way. But at the same time, yeah, a lot of times you have to turn
The thumb.
the thumb to yourself and say, listen, how can I show up
Yeah.
in a way that can change the trajectory of this situation?
Absolutely.
Right? How can I show up that I can change the trajectory of this situation? And see, like he's
Like he wants it even when she's not mentally and emotionally there. I think you're talking about intimacy. The question would be first, why is she not emotionally and mentally there? Because there is a real place when someone cannot connect to a spouse emotionally and mentally. And Brian, I'm not sure if you're the one asking the questions and YouTube is holding it for review. If you're using certain words or languages, they will not allow the question to be shown. So ensure that maybe you change the words that you're using. If that's you. If not, then you can keep going. But a lot of times women are in their heads and not in their bodies. Women are in their heads a lot when it comes on to intimacy and not in their bodies. And what do I mean by that? When it comes on to emotional healing or the trauma side or the mental health side, the woman's body hold rejection, shame, guilt, fear, the mindset behind it, the ideology behind intimacy and fear and guilt and shame, a lot of time is carried in the body. Why is this carried in the body? Simply put, because if that woman has unprocessed wounds or emotional wounds that were not healed, she cannot be intimate 100%.
yes.
Intimacy is going to be impacted. Why is intimacy impacted? Because the same places in the body, the major organs in the body that is touched by trauma, by emotional harm, they say moral injury. If that's the case that she's going through or she's dealing with, then all her major organs are being touched by what spreads or where trauma lives in the body, including the pelvic area. And so, not to overload you with too much information, but if that is the situation, she would need, and you both would need counseling in terms of where is her mind at, because she's not in her body. She's not able to feel her feelings. She's not able to manage emotions. She's not able to unfreeze. You know, like when ice is frozen, there's a lot of freeze in the body and it needs to be thawed out. So that's a great place to start. Where is her mind? Because she's in her head, and once she cannot come down in the body, there's not much connection intimately. She's numb. She's not feeling it.
Yeah. And I also quickly want to add on, Brian, that while it can be, based on, could be trauma,
Right.
and all that type of stuff, it can also just be, overworked.
Right. So
You-
disconnection
yeah,
from.
yeah, overworked. Because again, we have to understand, for a woman likes safety, right? For a woman to regulate and to to be open and she needs safety.
Yeah.
And sometimes that safety can just pretty much come from just you helping in the house. You understand? She can be
Yeah.
overworked with the kids. She can be just doing this and doing that.
Just
Work.
mentally strained.
Yeah, all that type of stuff can really put her at a place where she's just not
In the
there.
mood. Yeah.
Something can happen where she's just thinking about it. You understand? So, as men, a lot of times, if we can make that situation lighter,
Yes.
if you can have that intentional conversation where you're asking your partners, because a lot of times we really don't spend time to really ask our
Yeah,
partners,
yeah.
how are you feeling?
Yeah.
How are you feeling in this moment? And really
What can I help you with?
Yeah, really be open to listen to
Yeah.
validate how they feel. You understand? And also, what the word they just used a while ago?
Um. Not
Anyway,
sure.
just validating their feelings and yeah, I think it's how are you feeling and how can I
How can I
help?
help you?
How can I be of service? Right? So you're asking your partner, how can I make your day lighter? How can I help in this situation? What can I do at this moment that will help you feel different? And I promise you, you will see a difference in how they
Yeah.
show. So for a lot of situations, for a lot of things in this situation, it's really us as men, really helping our partner or women to, lighten the load.
Yeah.
You understand? Just to lighten the load. And I promise you, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing. That's a great point as well, because the overwork is real for a female. The overwork is real. The other thing I was gonna suggest is, I'm putting myself in a position. If a woman is not there emotionally, mentally, you have to redefine sex. You have to redefine intimacy. You may want it, but at this time in her life, she's going through some things. How about you start to create that relaxation moment? So instead of full blown lovemaking, how about you just do soothing exercises with her? Massages, warm bath, things like that. Warm towels, research, Google. What does she like? Scented, the environment, the atmosphere, your bedroom, candles, soft music. Because remember that if the body is not regulated, you cannot engage oxytocin and all those things. Dopamine, it's going to be that works him up more. That is true, but guess what? Self control is a fruit of the spirit. And if you're married and your wife is not able to carry you 100%, then guess what, my friend? You will have to be willing to carry her until she's safe with you. Because if she's not safe with you, then guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get impatient, bitterness is gonna come, resentment is gonna be there. Chances you start look outside for somebody else to soothe you. The devil is cruel. And so, what is the goal? Is it just sex or relief? Or is it to ensure that the goal is we are one? I got you. Even if I have to wait a week or 2 months for you, simple cuddling,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's what I was
That's
just gonna
another
say.
one.
Sometimes you just need to hold your wife.
Hold and
But
just
you said
encourage.
something so vital. And again, guys, please sign up for the Zoom. Sign up for the Zoom because
September
we're gonna
25.
really gonna dive into. What I really want to add is as men, a lot of times we have to. Again, that's why I always say it's good to build that before you get into marriage. But let's say you didn't, but you're now in the marriage. Self control is so important.
Yes.
Self control
It's
is
not a
so.
bad thing.
I promise you, I had to go through that in my marriage because
Everyday
I was like a
person.
horn dog, just need it. But I had to learn self control,
Yeah.
right? And it worked out so much better for me because
Yes.
at the end of the day, I can look and say, listen, my wife is worked up, she's out there, she's doing this and doing that. So when she comes home,
Tired.
I can understand, I can relate, and I can, just look at it as, hey, she need her moment,
Yeah.
right? She needs her space to rejuvenate. So if I can rub her feet, if I can hug her, because what we have to understand in marriage is that there are going to be a moment where your spouse might get sick,
It's down. Yeah.
right? Your spouse might get sick.
Yeah.
There's so many different things can happen.
Libido
And if
low.
you're yeah, and if you're not there, if you have not built that capacity as a man
Yeah.
to say, listen,
To hold your
regardless,
own. Mm-hmm.
you understand? It's almost like you can turn it on and turn it
Yeah.
off. If she's ready, I'm ready. You understand what I'm saying? As men, we have to build that because at the end of the day, if you don't have that capacity, if you've not built that capacity, as soon as this happen, as soon as that happen, you're gone on
Can't
road.
endure. And the devil is a liar. Because that's what he wants to see. Loopholes.
You understand? As
Yeah.
Christian men, the Bible talks about the fruit of the spirit, and one of the biggest thing is
Self-control.
self-control. You
Yeah.
understand? Self-control, self-control. And for single persons getting married, if that man, that person that you're courting does not have self-control, that's problem.
Yeah.
Practicing patience.
Patience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Speak
understand?
with her, and if she can, if she's willing to actually open up with you, again, it could be things in the marriage that happen, emotional disconnection. Speak
She
with
might be
her.
his wife. Right.
Speak with that person,
The lady.
the lady. If it's not a wife, and if it's just a partner, speak with her, and if possible, reach out for outsource professional help, because women carry the topic that we're going to be doing September 25. The things women carry, the things men hide, unspoken battles. So absolutely reach out for professional help and someone who means your union well. Okay.
All right, so the last one for me tonight is
Hey,
last one
last
is
one.
independence and personal space. Yes, vital for a man. I promise you that.
Very
It's
vital.
vital because that's a moment
You
you,
ain't
you
his
you have
mama.
some, especially in the states. You know, you
Yeah.
have men that has their man cave. You understand? Wives, you have to give your husband that little opportunity to
You okay with it?
unwind. Right? He might be playing games, and I understand if men, we can't overdo
Roll
it.
eyes.
Right? We get a leeway. We can't overdo it. You know, give him the opportunity to play his game. Give it. You know. Sometime he wants to go hang out with the men,
It's
and
friends.
I'm praying that these men are healthy.
Yeah,
His surroundings are
please.
is healthy because we know how that is, right?
Yeah,
Respectable men with the same value. You understand? Married
important.
men, and you might have single men, but at the end of the day, you're not
Sound men.
as husbands. Husbands, we're not easily influenced. We're not easily influenced. So if you want our wives to trust us to have these little moments where we can unwind,
Yeah,
we have to prove ourselves.
right,
Not just for our wives, but for ourselves. We have to, be healthy
right.
mentally, emotionally, physically. So when we take these moments to unwind and do this little extra stuff,
Trust is there.
play soccer, we go play some football, all that type of stuff. Our wives can trust us to say, listen, he's
Yeah,
taking his moments and he's doing what he says he's doing.
right.
You understand? So wives, allow your husbands to have these little moments for himself. That
Yeah,
little unwind to ease his mind and just let off some steam
yeah.
in a healthy
In a
way.
healthy way.
In a
If
healthy
not, she's
way.
gonna be like your mother. She's
Yes,
going to
yes,
behave
yes.
like she's your mother, and she's gonna talk down, and she's because a lot of times when we think about who breaks a woman, a lot of times it was a man. So it may not be a partner, it could be their fathers, it could be their uncles, and then women grow up to be this big bad bully, and then they come into their relationships like I was, big bad and stern, because of that fire and that rage and that hurt that I was carrying because of my dad. So if we don't want to parentify our spouses, we have to build that trust where the woman feels like she can let her guard down. He's where he says he's going to be, and that's just that. And even if he's not, ladies, we also have to get to a place where even if he's lying, you're secure in you, your identity. You're secure in yourself. You did not get married to play detective. You didn't get married to play detective. Just leave it at that for tonight.
Man.
Because we can go on and on and on. But tonight we're going to wrap up with that. And so to reiterate, thank you for sharing that though. Very good point. Men need their space. Don't bombard them, women. They need their space. Companionship to prevent isolation is very important. Respect, we talk about to affirm their identity as a man. We also talked about sexual intimacy to bond and affirm love. And we also talked about submission alignment to fulfill purpose with confidence and emotional support for a man to build resilience. These are not just their personal desires or they want to stroke their ego or mad man, so I'm supposed to get that. These are God given, innate, embedded relational needs and divine needs where man can actually thrive biologically and spiritually. So, thank you guys for watching tonight.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being on. I
Yes.
know it's late and we
Oh, wow. I didn't
yeah
even
we
see
did a
that.
we did a lot of rambling, but Blessings, guys. And again, go sign up. Go sign up.
September 25
Yeah.
or Zoom exclusive live. It's not for everybody, it's just for married
For
people.
married
And
people.
for those who register, please go ahead and register. It's on our page, the post. Oh, thank you, Brian.
Thank you,
To
Brian.
God be the glory.
Blessings to you. Blessings
Thank you
to
for
you.
being on. And if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we're on every week. Thursdays mainly, Mondays and Thursdays, but Thursdays mainly. And look out for the Zoom link. It is September 25 with Dr. Baker and her husband, Pastor Baker. All
Thank you,
right?
Pumpkin. Thank you.
Thank you. Very
Blessings, blessings.
informative.
Yeah, it's on our
Bye-bye.
Facebook page, so go on. You
On all
see.
socials.
On our socials. Goodbye, guys.